What's up, everybody? Welcome to Playing Dead, IGN's weekly Walking Dead The Game show. I'm Greg, this is Nick, this is Mitch, and boys, we're here to talk about choices in The Walking Dead The Game, Season 2, Episode 2, A House Divided. Can we talk about shortening the names of these episodes? It's starting out now. Mitch,
yes, sir.
You reviewed it.
I did.
Nick, you wrote it.
I did.
You guys are enemies then.
Yeah,
that's how it is.
I think that's how it works. That's
it?
the math of it.
I hate this guy. It was a choice that I made, though.
First sight.
Yeah. Let's talk about choices. Mitch,
yes.
Toughest choice you made in Episode 2?
Deciding which table to sit at.
Thank you. Yes! I could not believe how hard that was.
I'm really happy that was a
That comes
choice.
up, and I'm like, I'm not expecting it. I don't expect them to sit at different tables.
Yeah.
I don't know why they're sitting at different tables.
Yeah.
And she goes and like looks at it, and I'm like, oh, cool. Now, Kenny, because old friend, just saw him again for the first time. But these people that I care about, that I'm now hanging out with, and I'm warming up to, and they're warming up to me. I don't know.
No, you see,
I don't
this
know
is
the
where
answer.
Nick's an asshole. Is that I don't.
That's all this is going to be, by the way.
That's
it's
fine.
berating you for all the things you made us do
Son
in
of
this
a
game.
bitch.
That's just a normal Thursday for me.
Is that in that moment, I'm like, I still don't like anybody at that table except for Luke. Luke is still my boy, and Luke turns around and does the puppy dog eyes, and I'm just like, oh my god, like I can't, like I have to go with Kenny. And it's one of those things, this is the problem with the game, is I start wrestling in my head with, I know they're setting Luke, it almost becomes, it's one of those moments where I step back and I don't feel like I'm Clem anymore, because I'm like, I know they're building this Luke relationship with Clem, I've seen it going on, I like him a lot, but I love Kenny, and I'm like, I'm going to pick Kenny, because that's what I do. I stick with Kenny, my boy. Dedicated man to Kenny. I'm in a loving relationship with Kenny. But I still feel like in the end I'm going to have, my story's going to come back with Luke. But I knew I had to go with Kenny because I've missed Kenny for so long.
Yeah, I mean, who knows when you're going to get the chance again, right?
Yeah, we'd missed him
Who
for
can
so
say?
long. You can! You write the game!
You have the answers.
Yeah, no, I'm really glad that you guys say that. That was a choice that we were really happy with. Just the idea that we would have a really difficult choice that wasn't life or death, wasn't anything that felt like you had a gun to somebody's head.
It wasn't
Just
even
who to sit
ethical.
with at a table.
It's not like, oh, am I going to feel bad about this as like a human?
Yeah, and
Just
for
like,
Clementine, just being a child, it was just a classic like lunchroom scenario.
Right.
Like, who do you
Yeah,
sit with?
totally,
Like you sit with these friends, you sit with like so.
Yeah, I sat down. I'm hoping I can say, "Come over here, Luke. You know, come on, guys." And you don't give me that option, of course, because you're a bunch of jerks.
Yeah.
Funny story. As of filming this, 66% of players were with us. Went with Kenny. Because you got to. Kenny's back.
Yeah.
He's got a kick-ass beard.
Yep. Oh, that beard is out of control.
Homeless Kenny. I love it. Yeah, he was great. So when we get to moments like that, like walk me through writing an episode of The Walking Dead. Like, do you start to finish? Start to finish.
That's a much larger question than what
you can wrap it up in the 3 minutes I want to associate to this part of it, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, do you just start going, all right, this happens, that happens, this happens, and then you come back to those moments, you're like, well, or could I make a choice here?
Sometimes. Sometimes it's a matter of just, I'm writing the story, and now where can I throw in a hard choice within the context of what we've already done? Sometimes it's, just organically out of the situation, this is making for an amazing choice.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of both, really.
Gotcha.
In that case, it was definitely something that just, oh man, they're going to have dinner. This is something that they should have to choose over. Oh, interesting. Maybe we could just put this group over here and this group over here and make that like a thing. And it felt natural when we got done with it. So it's
funny because like when I'm looking through like the things you never know when you're making the choices in the game which ones are going to be the ones for the statistics. And at the end of the game, I thought for sure there'd be statistics on. For me, we talk about about the Pete Nick thing, right? Like you start in different places with the episode. I started with Nick because Pete got bitten, so him, he's dead. Why would I even waste time going with him? But I instead went with Nick, and Nick starts, and Nick's all like, "Just leave me here. I'm drunk and I don't." And I'm like, the options popped up, and I was just like, whatever. I guess I'll save you. And I totally was like, come with me, come on, it'll be okay. Just on the purpose of, you're drunk. I want them to run to you, the loud guy, and I'll skate away. But that wasn't even one of the choices, like you guys were monitoring at the end. I thought that was fascinating.
Yeah,
there's a couple of those, especially like in the ambulance with Pete. He says like, I'll distract him and take myself down and you go free. And you can tell him, no, you're coming with. And he'll come with you and bad things happen anyway.
Sure.
And that's another one that's not monitored. But it is a moment where you have a binary thing like come with me or don't. And it's like, oh man, do I feel bad for saying like, thanks Pete, see ya? Or do I feel bad because I asked him to come with me and maybe got him killed?
Yeah. Another one that pops up here, our real choice was friendship. Did you take the blame for Sarah's photo?
No.
What did you
No,
blamed her?
She took the photo.
I turned around and put it on Carlos. I was like, you told me to distract her. And then she's all like, you told her I'm just a child. I'm like, yes, you suck. You are terrible. You are mini ugly Betty. Nobody cares about you.
I do.
No, why do you care about her?
Because she's a kid, man.
I mean, I'm so desensitized with my Clem. My Clem is so much like, these guys suck. They put me in the shed. Don't care. Luke's the only one going out of his way.
I'm growing to like these people. Like, Sarah is Clementine 2 years ago. She's the person who is dealing with this for the first time, is starting to understand like the dangers of it and how to deal with the people who are having these conflicts, making these big decisions about who lives, who dies, where do we go, do we stay, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Carlos is just a badass.
Carlos is not a badass. He's a jerk. He's another jerk.
Oh,
Everybody's
badass.
a jerk. Yeah. What do you? Yeah. How do you feel?
Uh-oh, choice moment. Carlos, badass or jerk?
Do I hate the people I
I
write?
feel like I gotta say badass in that case.
Yeah.
He's not really a badass though.
No.
No.
Yeah. He's another. There's a bunch of.
The
I'm
actor
surprised
who
people
plays
do-
him is named Kid
You're
Beyond.
not alone,
That's
though.
an awesome
Yeah.
name.
That's a great name. I'll give you that for sure.
And he's all grumbly and hates everything.
Yeah, but he
He's
just
great.
spits. He spits in Carver's face.
He's a beat
Take a
boxer.
swing. Come on, be a man, Carlos. But this is one of my other things. Like the options pop up, and like they're like, Clem, will you vouch for these people? And I was like, I can't speak to everyone. And I can't. I know Luke. I like Luke. But like Luke's the one who's depressed that I say that. I'm like, oh come on, man. You know I'm feeling you.
Yeah.
They're gonna hook up. They're shipping, aren't they?
No comment.
And in 3 years, they'll be shipping. What else do we got here? Oh, here we go. The honesty one. Did you tell Walter the truth about Matthew?
I did.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
It was a way to do it. And so did 72.8% of other players.
That's a really interesting statistic. Do you
Yeah.
anticipate stuff like that? Like, all right, here's the thing that's, most people are probably going to pick this one. Does that affect how you decide what that choice is going to be?
It's interesting in a different way in that like it's always a sort of an internal debate. Do we want choices that are 50-50, or do we want some choices in there that we know are going to be like a majority of people doing this? Is that a bad choice? Is that a good choice in terms of design?
That almost makes like that 13% way more interesting. Like,
That's what
13% of people.
Yeah,
were
I think we're
awful.
still. Yeah, exactly. We're like debating that, but I feel
Yeah.
like I agree with you. I think it's interesting when a landslide happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. For me, in the zombie apocalypse, truth is the best answer,
Yeah,
right? Like
I am purely honest with everybody all the time.
Were you even
except
honest?
for that? Oh no, I did tell the truth about the photo. I didn't take it.
Yeah. Okay, good job. Well, yeah, 55% of people blamed other people. They were like, it's somebody else's fault, not me, I'm Clementine. But like, you're talking about that, even with Carver, were you honest with Carver when he showed up?
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, oh yeah, like, yeah, they're gone, but like, they're here, they will be back.
Yeah.
There's a large group of them.
See, and that's
All right.
how I originally I went the way of like, oh, it's just me and my dad, you know what I mean? And then even then it was just like, but eventually I'm just like, why should I be afraid of these people? Like, yes, they're here. Of course, you found them. Congratulations.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Ugly Betty's photos on the ground. Duh. But yeah, like that was the thing. I gave him my name, everything else, because it's just like, let's just be upfront.
Yep.
Either you're going to kill me or I'm going to kill you probably eventually in this game. So,
This is not my last time seeing you. You might as well know who I am.
yeah.
Remember my
Speaking of
name.
Nick, though, we were talking about that. You like landside, you like
Take two.
landside. You like
Take
you
three.
like decisions that are crazy. There's no takes in this. It's playing dead. Every Saturday on IGN. We don't care. What about Nick? Did you convince Walter to forgive him, or did you let Walter do his own
Yeah,
thing?
I was super honest saying like, look, we goofed. Our
Yeah.
bad. But Nick is not a bad person.
Yeah,
This went down. It's unfortunate it went down the way it did, but these are good people.
I did that too, and so did 87% of players.
Yeah.
All right.
So I think people want people to survive with.
Yeah.
Luke is one of these guys that you expect to be there from start to finish. He's one of the main characters. He's there, like, he's a bad dude to you in the beginning, but you grow to like him, he grows to like you, he's vulnerable in this episode. He tells you, like, a pretty incredible thing about his life and his family. So you think that he's going to be there the whole time, and maybe he is going to be around for a while, but he could not be as of now. That's bonkers.
Yeah.
When you make a decision like that, and
Yeah.
you look at a character, you're like, okay, well, we could kill him in episode 2 and then keep him around maybe 1, 2, 3 more episodes. That's got to be a nightmare to write.
Yep. It's interesting you guys talking about it though. Like, do you play? I'm curious. Do you play like a guessing game? Like, should I make this choice based on what I think is going to happen? You know,
Right, like mechanically,
Yeah.
in the future, how will this benefit me as a player
Right,
or
yeah.
as a person?
Yeah. Are you playing it strategically, or
See,
are you
I tend to
thinking
play
more
it-
just sort of emotionally?
Yeah, I think as a person, like, what does Clementine want? As someone who wants to survive, she will benefit by having Luke around. Even if he's a person, she will benefit by having him there. So let's do our best to keep him around.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that was like I was saying, right? Like when I got to the table, I was like, I think there's a future in Luke. I think there's a longer future in Luke than there is in Kenny, just based on the way the season seems to be shaping up. But after I went through all that, I'm like, back to what I would do in the situation, I go to Kenny, because I've missed Kenny, you know what I mean?
Right.
And I'm glad I did. I love Kenny.
No regrets.
No regrets, ever.
No.
Let's talk about the ending then. Did you go to find Kenny, Mitch?
I did.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
So
had
did
to.
57% of players too.
I like Carlos, but I also, I put trust in Carver's craziness. Like, it's going to be bad for Carlos that he's going to torture him longer, but he's not going to kill him right away. He wants to enjoy kicking the shit out of him.
This is one of those situations whenever it's like, I'd rather be, I always think, you do those things where you're like, what would I do in a hostage situation, right? It's always like,
Get out!
I'm pretty sure this guy's going to kill people regardless of what
Yes.
happens, so I'd rather take that shot, get help, try to get somebody out there. And that was actually, you were talking about what a nightmare it must be to write. It seems like in season 2 already you're making more definitive branching paths, right?
Yeah.
And the fact that the way it started with Pete or Nick, and like there's completely different areas. Like, I watched Mitch today play the Pete part because my save was Nick. And so when he, like last night I was texting Mitch about it, he's like, oh yeah, but you go to the ambulance. I'm like, what ambulance did I miss? I don't remember. It's like, oh, you start in a completely different place than me.
Yeah.
And then at the end too, right? Like, you initially go outside, Alvin's blown away. But then when you stick in the house, Alvin survives, and Alvin goes on to the next episode alive. It's
Or
like,
you can, if you intervene.
Sure. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. There's so many. See, this is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's another choice within a
Permutations.
choice. Yeah.
Are you going insane? Is it happening?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
But yeah, no,
Good.
it is a conscious effort to, sort of reward fans. They as much as we say, well, people are just going to play through one permutation of this and they're not going to see the rest of the content, that's not really true. There's the internet, it exists. People know the other paths through the game, and so it's gratifying for us to do as much as we can to pay off on their choices.
I think that even though people do seek that stuff out and they go to websites and like, okay, what could have happened, and they gain that knowledge, still in their mind they have that like canonical playthrough. They know who their Clementine is. They know what her fate was within their playthrough, because when they load up their save, that is what they have to deal with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. Well, you passed mustard. You did all right.
Thank you, sir.
We like this episode. What's the next one you're writing so people can be on the lookout for you?
I'm running the finale.
Jeez Louise, we got a big timer here, Mitch. Straighten your tie. Well, you both straightened it, but okay, that's fine. Neither of you wearing ties either.
I goofed.
It's a very small tie.
So what does that mean then for you right now? So like you get to kick up your feet.
This
and
is my
rest?
break right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. This segment. I'm going back to
Oh,
writing.
that's it. Then you're right back to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So thanks for the vacation.
No problem.
That's what-
I'm sorry it has to be so brief, but good luck to you writing that finale.
No, thank you.
No pressure.
No,
Mitch.
not at all.
Yes, sir.
Good luck reviewing the rest of the games.
Thank you. I hope they're all good.
Me too.
Don't screw this up, man. Go back and tell them not to screw this up.
I will.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Playing Dead. Remember, IGN.com's Walking Dead show posts every Saturday talking about them walkers. Until next time, I don't know, beyond zombies, I got nothing yet.
Nah.
What's a good closer?
Bye.
Show.
Not in this video game.
Same universe in the comic.